be here today after a successful launch of our manifesto, the People's Manifesto, which is themed Our Land and Jobs Now, Stop Load Shedding, which was launched here in eThekwini in KwaZulu-Natal. I was saying to Secretary General that I think we took a wrong decision to call this meeting today, because today we're supposed to rest after that successful event. But he says, no, just speak and then go. We will finish the business. I have to rest a bit because the system is collapsing, so I have to go and regain some energy after we did some serious work here in KwaZulu-Natal. And we're happy that the structures of the EFF here in KZN and in particular eThekwini have responded to the clarion call. Comrades, when you look at the social media and all of the media today, they have nothing negative to say, because their story was that that stadium is not going to be full and that EFF was going to be a flop and this will be a burial site of our organization. But the way you executed the task yesterday, you silenced all the doomsayers. And today they've got nothing to say. To a point that our enemies had to run headlines about the EFF invades KZN. That's a sign of an affirmation that you did something that was not expected from you. But let me tell you that there was an intelligence gathering about our event. At every entry of KwaZulu-Natal, there were police and state security marking and registering the buses that are coming from outside KZN. And this morning, one of the ministers in the security cluster was telling me that the officials of the ruling party were disappointed to hear that there was no single bus outside KZN. But you'll be glad to know that the ANC is coming on the 24th, and they were saying these kids are too brave to fill up Mabhida with KZN alone. We're not going to make that mistake. A directive has already been issued that Eastern Cape, Free State, Mpumalanga must send buses to complement KwaZulu-Natal, because they can't do it alone. But what makes me more happy is that, if we had said Eastern Cape must send buses, Free State, Mpumalanga as the nearby provinces, the story was not going to be that Free State, Eastern Cape and Mpumalanga send buses. The story was going to be that he bussed people from Limpopo to go to Moses Mabhida, because the intention is to paint us as a tribalistic organization. And we dealt with that myth yesterday and we destroyed it forever. We have demonstrated to all that we are a national organization with a national footprint. and that we are not clowns that claim to have political parties referring to gangsterism and family trust as political parties. Now you have a task after that successful launch of the manifesto to deliver a decisive victory for our movement in the national and provincial elections. You are here as torchbearers of our message for the return of the land and as the pioneers of our calls for the creation of jobs and as the weapons who will explain to our people as they sit in the darkness how we intend to put a stop to load shedding. This gathering is therefore here to select the best amongst us who will implement the goals and objectives of the EFF manifesto in governance. We are electing the public representatives of the EFF after the manifesto so that when you accept to lead the EFF in parliament and in the legislature, when a form is sent to you to accept the nomination, eventually, you should be knowing what you are accepting your nomination for. For some of you accept nominations even before you see the manifesto. You accept to be sent to parliament not knowing what you are going to do in parliament. 260 pages that you have to go through, internalize, and deeply understand the meaning of everything that is contained in that manifesto. This list conference is going to determine who's going to lead South Africa after May, because we are confident we are going to win elections. So the possibility is that we might be sitting amongst ministers and premiers and MECs. So you ought to understand that these people who are sending to parliament and legislature now are going to be government. And therefore you have to elect the best of the best. But this is not a job, because to lead a government of the EFF is not an employment. And again, political education must do political work to educate you, to internalize and understand the difference between employment and deployment. Because most of you don't understand what is a deployment. You think you are employed. The position you are going to occupy is an EFF position. You are sent to represent the EFF. And when you are called to come back, you should not even have a problem. Because you know you were sent, now you are being called to come back. I had a discussion with him, we saying about some former chairperson of the EFF. And then I send him a message. He sent me a message, I respond him. He doesn't respond my message back. He just blue ticks me. So I'm unable to make a follow-up. But I wanted to make a follow-up with him that just tell me one former provincial chairperson of the EFF who was removed from position of responsibility and never redeployed and remained in the EFF. There's no single one of them. No single former chairperson of the EFF who was deployed, outvoted, and removed from a position of responsibility and not redeployed and still remained in the EFF. Not one. Because they feel so entitled. They are something out of the ordinary. That the EFF will never be anything without them in that particular province. So let's take KZN for instance. Lot of time. That you will go to the legislature. We have spoken to you many times and asked you to be disciplined, and you did not listen. Now you are going to know what we were talking about when we said be disciplined and follow the leadership as instructed. So your faction is not going to work. If you gave people money, it's a waste of money. If you called a caucus, I called Lebo TP. This voice is gone, man. It's disappointing me. I called Lebo during the day, so Lebo is my friend, my childhood friend. He's here. So we haven't seen him properly yesterday, and even today we haven't seen him. Then my wife says, we didn't even see Lebo. Okay, let's call him. He doesn't answer first time. Second time he doesn't answer. Then he returns the call. Okay, where are you? No, we're here, we're registering. Okay, registering what? The list. So what's happening? We're talking to other people and talking. Then I realized, there is something going on in the corridors. Okay, so I don't tell him, I'm like, shame, they are wasting time talking to each other. It's not going to help. You don't have to lobby. It's too late. You should have done good back then, not now. So fighters, we have the list as this leadership. We have the list. So we called you here to come and guide us as to who can be number 3. Number 3, I'm making a mistake. The list starts from 7 going down. There is a top 6, you know it. So it's 7 going down. Yeah, 7 going down. SG, there must not be confusion. Even Terry must know. 7 down. Now we're in. We're already inside. You find people caucusing about our names. No, don't involve us in those things. Tina's Pagat, there is no problem. We asked you to come and prioritize this list and say to us which one can be number 10, which one can be this and that. Then when we're done, we'll take that and then re-look it and then compare it with ours and say, okay. Because democratic centralism means that we have to listen to the lower structures before we take a final decision. Because you must guide us as to what must be the final decision. So we're here to listen to you. You went to the regions. You came to the province. Now we're here to make a final determination and send it to us. We will respect what you are saying. But where there are fundamental flaws, we will intervene. and say, not this one. Because this one has been insulting the chairperson, what is that region of Medzimaulu? Has been insulting the chairperson of Fesley Derby every morning when he wakes up. He sends WhatsApp, he sends Facebook, he sends this, insulting our chairperson every day. Insulting the organization every day. Then we must come here and affirm the same person who has been insulting our organization every day. It's not going to happen then. So, whatever factionalism that you have arranged is okay, but you must know we know ill discipline. And we will not tamper with the outcome. We just remove this one. No. Law must go out. Then the list goes up. That's all. That's all. So here we are coming to put forward those who have put the organization forward. They did not put themselves forward. You ought to be a member of the EFF in good standing, but most importantly, you must have matric. Without matric, you won't go to parliament. That doesn't apply to Mam Sonti and Mam Kaulai, who can't apply such things to them. There will be those exceptional cases, but not of young people. Me and you had an opportunity to go to school. We're not in exile. We're not in Robben Island. We're not underground. We are here, 30 years of freedom. You still haven't gone to school. And you want us to come and empower people who are saying to our children, education is nothing. We can't do that. This year is matric. The coming years, those who want to be councillors, you must ask Spetlele for sure somewhere. What's it? Those who want to be councillors and mayors and MMCs and what one. It's going to be a degree. It's going to be post-matric because we spoke about matric in the last local government election. You still don't listen because you are relying on a faction that it will elect you even without matric. As we move forward, we must increase the bar. DP, in the top 50 of people who are going to parliament, there must be 10 of them with PhDs. In our list, 10 of them with PhDs. And we've got them, they are there. We've got them in the EFF. Because we have to do away with this thing of Mbalulaism. Of people leading through slogans and making no effort to visit the books. You must have some skills. Those of you who are in parliament now, you are going to have to write a report on why you must go back to parliament. What have you done? We are not running an interview. We are not going to conduct an interview, nothing. You are going to write down what have you done when you were in parliament. Transcript is there. You can go back to parliament and check and tell us in the committee meetings how many times did you make input and which one is outstanding that you think we have to reference to. We're not sending back to Parliament mediocre that doesn't attend committees, that doesn't attend Parliament, that doesn't speak in Parliament, and doesn't do oversight. What have you done? That must be your explanation. You must now motivate why you must go back. That is for members of Parliament. That is for legislature. You are not going to elect NCOP. That one is absolutely ours, that one. We are the ones who decide on that one. NCOP is political intervention. Then the results come, they say you've got 70 seats. And then there's these other comrades that you think are strategic and they are not in the 70. You use the NCOP to balance that. But, to have engineers, to have people who have some qualifications on energy, water and sanitation, health, justice, law enforcement, education, environment, technology, local economic development, governance, communication, public administration, and any other qualification will add as an added advantage. Because we're not going to do cadre deployment. People must be deployed on the basis of merit. What are they going to offer in Parliament? So please, you must not be scared that you will not make it, and therefore you have to do any other thing, even when you are loyal to the movement. Worry not. That will not happen. Those ones who are in Parliament DP, you guys, you must stick to your resolutions. You said we must adopt schools. You said we must adopt ECD. You said we must adopt crutches. You said we must help the poor. Each one of us, if we get nominated here, we must file a report in line with that. The SG says to me is deploying one of the comrades into some sub-region here in KZN. The comrade says, I'm struggling with transport. He's a member of Parliament from 2014. So I say, SG, how can she struggle with transport? Because we spoke about buggies from 2014 until now. So we must ask these people, where are the buggies? Because we said you must buy buggies. And you must tick all the boxes. There's no box you are going to miss. We said this repeatedly. Repeatedly. And then you thought you were clever. Don't go and adopt a crèche now or a school now. We will know. We will know that. Because we'll interface with that institution and they will tell us. We need 40% youth. But we don't want kids, SG. Youth should not mean kids because we deploy kids there in Parliament and they get overwhelmed. And then we say they are youth. There is no youth and kids are two different things. Sifuni a youth endala. So, how old is the president of the student command? 20? 27, president of the student command. He's 27. But when the guy speaks, you can hear that there is an authority that comes from the mouth of this young person. He doesn't doubt himself. He knows he doesn't have to theorize or intellectualize about what he's talking about. It is in his stomach. He lives it. He breathes it. That is his life. That is the youth that when you send anywhere, you will not regret. That is the kind of youth that is young but old. You know, I've been a president of the Youth League and COSAS and all of that. I enjoy listening to president of the EFF Student Command. There are things that when he speaks, he reminds me of myself. I'm like this guy. This guy is going somewhere. And please don't destroy his future because I said the things I said. Then you are going to traditional healers to finish him. Like you tried to finish me yesterday and I'm still standing. So please, when you've got a youth like that, protect him, nurture him, give him support. When you see him, just give him money. Uramfan. Yeah, this is the 1,000 rand. Go. So that he doesn't go taking money from wrong people who are going to now destroy him. I'm talking about the president of Student Command. There are so many young people like him, but I'm using him as an example because they are youth that you know, I may not know. But we need 40% of that youth in parliament. Because we are not an old age home. We are the organization of young people because we represent the future. I mean, if you doubt me, go and look at the picture and the videos of yesterday and look at who was there yesterday. It was the youth that came out in their numbers. And you must not disappoint them. When you send people to parliament, you forget them. Sorry. When you send people to parliament, you forget them. But when you call rallies, you want them. When you call volunteers, you want them. When you want someone to put up posters, you want them. But when it's time to go to parliament, you forget the youth. So we have legislated that, DP, 40% must be the youth. 50% is women. It's non-negotiable, that one. And can I please get another glass with water? And the 50% of women is not only with parliament. Everything else that requires representation in the EFF, there must always be 50-50. Minimum of 50 women, not just 50%, minimum. There can be more. Women can be more. Men can be more. Women must be more. So please, when you leave this product you're going to produce here, if it doesn't have 50% women and doesn't have 40% youth, you are now inviting us to tamper with your list. Do the right thing if you don't want us to tamper with your list. Make sure it has got 50% or more women, 40% or more youth, and geographic spread. And we must make sure that all the demographics of our country are represented in that list. I now insist that there must be a white person in our list. There must be Indian person in our list. There must be colored person in our list, because Our country looks like that. And our list must be a reflection of our country. When I say a colored person, I don't mean one. When I say white person, I don't mean one. When I say Indian, I don't mean one. There can be more. But we can't have for 10 years in parliament without a single white person. And we are being accused that we hate white people. We don't hate white people. We hate racism. We don't have Indian. Okay, we had one, Godrich. Oh, sorry. So, at least on coloreds, we've been doing well a little bit. We can do more. So let our list be a reflection of us as a country, because the EFF is a reflection of our country. Comrades, I hope you'll do the right thing, because we trust all of you as disciplined members of our organization, that you know what is required from you. You're going to vote. After voting, you are now going to disperse to your hotels, whatever. Those who want to drive can drive home, and then we'll get the results. And then you will see the results when we send the list to the IEC. That is the results. You will see them that time. From now until that time, just go home and work. Don't be worried about list this, list that. Uswantur no. Narpeti le rishile le bakhalabe bataibona. We're done. You are coming to play your role. When you are done, goodbye. Go home, because your branches are waiting for you. Do not stress about who's going, who's coming. We are all going. As long as the EFF is going, we are all going. We are all inside. The unity of our movement is very important now. We are at a point where we can't afford to lose a single one of you out of ill-discipline and divisions. We need you now more than ever before. Our movement is about to make history now. And that history can only be made if you demonstrate a determination we saw here in KwaZulu-Natal. Many of you are going to appreciate what happened here yesterday after many years. You don't know what you did yesterday. You don't know what you did yesterday. No one can take those chances. The ANC went to Mbombela. We went to FNB. The ANC is coming to Moses Mabhida. We have been to Moses Mabhida. From here, we are going to Peter Mokaba Stadium. The ANC is still to go to FNB, because if they don't go to FNB, it means we are leading. They went to we went to FNB. They didn't go to FNB. They went to Mbombela. We came to Moses Mabhida. They are coming to Moses Mabhida because the combination of FNB and Moses Mabhida were ahead of them. They come to Mabhida to try and balance the equation. We go to Peter Mokaba. When they try another stadium, they must be reminded you still have FNB before you go anywhere else. So we're leading this thing. And let me tell you, don't listen to fools. I've been in this game of numbers for a very long time. That stadium was full to capacity. Full to capacity. So you don't judge a stadium by the seats that are empty. You judge the stadium by how many people entered the gate. And that gate gets counted all the time. When you enter, they count you. It was full to capacity. Who wants to sit at the back seat? At the backstage? No one wants to sit at the backstage. They want to see their leadership. They want to be in front and see their leadership. Look at the people who are standing in front of us. If you take those people who are standing in front of us and put them at the back, if that's how you want to see if the stadium is full, then it's done. More than 65,000 people entered that stadium yesterday. So, that's why fools can't say anything. Don't mind Mbalula. You know, you must have this thing of reading people's mind. Mbalula puts a stadium video that is empty because he has already formed that in his mind that the stadium is going to be empty. Now, when the stadium is full, he's still in denial. And then he puts a picture that he has concluded in his mind. You can't do anything to help such a person, because you know that's not true. And then what does Floyd do? He responds him with the real picture. Man, this is what happened there at Mabida. And then you see that, and then you get affected by such things. So maybe, no. You must never expect roses from your enemies. Never. They will never praise you. It doesn't matter how good you are. And I know him, he's my friend. I know him when he's bitter about the situation, how he reacts. So, what you did yesterday, no one can undo that work you did. You in KZN, you must tell those IFP people who want to undermine you and say rubbish, ask them to go and do the same thing at Pitamkaba Stadium. Ask them to do the same thing at, what is that stadium in Mangaung? Cesar Ramabudi. Ask them to go and do it at Cesar Ramabudi Stadium. Ask them to go and do it in Atteridgeville. What is that? Lucas Mripe. Abeta. And then Giants. Yeah, Giant Stadium in Soshangu. Ask them to go and do that. Ask them to go and do it at Orlando Stadium. There are hostels. I guess they survive through hostels. There are hostels in Soweto. Ask them to go and do it there. They will never do it. They must go and do it at the stadium in Mdantsane. Cesar Dugash. Ask them to go and do it in Cesar Dugash. Only the EFF can do that, because it is a national organization. So please, let's focus, let's be disciplined. That work of yesterday comes from discipline. Everything is possible. This province is going, Gauteng is going, Western Cape is gone. Once they lose these three, they will not win national. They won't win national. We have passed the DA, but we are going to be number 3 if you become complacent and ill-disciplined. Once we pass the DA, it means we are now close to number 1. Why are you not fighting more? The DA declared you the enemy number 1. They knew what was happening. They knew, their internal polls told them that these ones are gone. Ipsos told us, It was me, DPSG, I don't know who else was there. They said to us, look guys, and that was in February, March. They said, you are going to pass the DA. We don't know what you are doing, but whatever you are doing, people are receiving it, and stick to that message and continue with that message. So when it came now, it didn't come as a shock. We were told long time ago. So we need to stick to the message and stick to what we are doing now, and even work more harder so that we can become number one. But if we don't work hard, I don't get a reason why we should get less than 1 million votes, monges, here in KZN. I don't understand why we can get less than 1 million votes, Dunga, in Gauteng. I don't understand why. For what? You have a duty not to give us less than that. If you bring anything less than that DP, you guys have failed. We got 350,000 in KZN for doing nothing. Sino zama zama nje. Right? Bamba lapho SGA ungathi bangena ngapha hayi. Aphi ama poster. We don't have. We did that. 350,000 without Moses Mabhida. So what can stop us from tripling that 350,000? We got it for free, 350,000. So all we are asking you is to go and bring 750,000 to add on 350,000, because we have given you the post. What more do you want from us when you say our leaders are not helping us? Ufunani mongezi, senzeni manje. Senze yonke into, we gave you everything. Ufunani manje. Our leaders don't support us. Our leaders, imon. Siyajiga la zama ukukhuluma isiZulu sithi hey lapha sifuna amavote. Sifuna amavote hey. Hey siyazama bye. Asizamile shem. When we leave here, the ball is in your court now. We came to give you a boost. Now, Limpopo, we are not going to have a provincial manifesto launch because you are hosting Peter Mukaba, Tsela Tuparali. Whatever little resource you have mobilized must go into Tsela Tuparali. We're starting now. We're starting now. We're not saying we're not going to have a provincial rally, comrade former SG, because of those factionalists who were writing your letters and speaking nonsense. I'm still coming for those ones. I don't want that. Not in my province, where people think they can undermine the leadership that we have deployed in that province. That province of Limpopo is under Godrich Daddy. You're going to listen to him. And if you don't want, you can leave. You can leave now. We're not going to have the former Secretary General being questioned here. When decisions are made to a point where we even get SMSs that Godrich Gadi is killing Limpopo. Limpopo is not where. That SMS I got and the letter is the end between us and you who wrote us such messages. We're done. Our journey with you ends here. We don't want anyone, and we made this very clear, DP, when we started this thing, that we have no time for factionalism and gossip and grouping, and we don't have time for that. We cannot listen to anything that is not complementing what we are doing. When you write things down, when you you start sending messages. You are plotting the failure of the leadership so that you can produce evidence and say, I told them. Since when in the EFF, leader to leader, since when do we speak through letters? We have a duty to organize a rally. And you thinking, this is not going to work. We always talk to each other. Hey, Chief, what do you think here? We plot. No. The SG is written a letter. What is the budget? Where will the money come from? What's that? What's that? Are you being sent here to come and do what? We organized this rally, seated here, all of us. We don't know what was the budget. Reduce SG. Hey. Then the TG sent the thing here. Hey, the SG says we must pay for overflow. Never. It's not going to happen. Where would the money come from? Hey. And then armchair critique. Sit down. Dear comrade, I want to understand what is the budget. Where will the money come from? Why is what and what? Municipal manager. You write letters like you are a municipal manager. You're putting it down so that when we don't perform, you can then subject us to that. Don't do that. We are activists. We are not armchair critics. We are activists. That's why so fast kitchen. On the road, as we march together, we ask each other questions as we go. Hey, Rona Melaing. Onaria Mardi Basidi guy. How do before I move, where are the buses? Who's going to pay for the buses? Hey, the rally is coming to Pitamkaba Stadium, Tsela Tupa rally. And there is no budget. And that rally must sit with or without budget. It must be successful, and no one must stand on the way of making that rally successful. We are going there as our last rally. So the rest of you, Share Mongis, Shai Popo Baba, you are fine, you are sorted. We say we are coming now. We want a provincial manifesto in Gauteng. Colin, TG, we want a manifesto in Mpumalanga. Northwest, want a